Well, good morning. It's time for my weekly video. Yesterday, Sunday, I did my usual walking around the campus, and it was really pretty exciting because there were students moving in to their various housing units. And it wasn't the same hustle and bustle of past years, but there were still a steady flow of students moving in, and I could still feel that excitement. Speaking of students, we're going to have a very large class this year. Potentially, it will be the largest class in the history of the university, so that's great. And also very notable is that our first-time black students will have increased by almost 60% from last year. So a large class and a large number of minority students for a very diverse class. So I'm very happy about that. Earlier this week, I did have to write a letter that went out to all the students to ask them to behave, to warn them about what the rules and policies, particularly related to off-campus parties, large gatherings that could potentially spread the virus. I think it was important to do so that students, really understand the seriousness of this. As you know, a number of universities have had to reverse course based on large outbreaks from student parties. But to be honest, I don't think all the blame should go to the students. I'm a little concerned about the blaming that is going on right now. Yeah, sure, I really don't understand these large gatherings and parties, particularly indoors, these sorority and fraternity parties. Truly, I don't understand that behavior at this time. But on the other hand, I also don't understand why some institutions and organizations, conferences, are doing some of the things that they're doing. For example, playing football. It's a sport where people are all on top of each other. They're breathing on each other, and it's not just the actual contact part of the sport, but it's also what happens in the locker room and during travel. I just picked football as an example, but there are other things that we're doing, and we make excuses for, but then it's wrong for students when they gather. This is a collective responsibility, and we've got to think of it as such. I think that we're doing everything we can to keep faculty, staff, and students safe, while at the same time trying to maximize the experience for our students. But ultimately, all you can really do is trust that students, and for that matter, faculty and staff, will behave appropriately and look out for each other. People sometimes ask me what keeps me up at night. Well, I never actually understood that question, because nothing really keeps me up at night. As once I decide to go to bed and I put my head on my pillow, within about 5 or 10 seconds, I'm asleep, and I don't wake up until it's time to wake up in the morning. But in all honesty, I kind of understand what people are talking about now, because there are some things I'm very worried about. The coronavirus situation right now in Michigan it hasn't changed a whole lot. There are some areas where there's increased numbers of cases, and the percent positivity is increasing. For the most part, it's decreasing in most areas. Detroit continues to have very low percent positivity, so I think that's all very good. But there are a couple of things that I am very worried about. One is that the age group that has the most number of cases per million population is not the older age group. It's the age group between 20 and 29. In the last few weeks, that is the age group that has had the most number of cases per population. That is, for the most part, the college age group. And so we have to keep that in mind. Now, obviously, when an older person gets the virus, the consequences could be more severe. But nonetheless, a lot of young people are contracting the virus, and we tend to forget that sometimes. You know, the second thing I'm worried about is Labor Day is coming up very soon. And we know from experience that things didn't go well with the 4th of July and Memorial Day. We have to really be careful with Labor Day coming up. With that all being said, as I said before, I think we have to do is do everything we can to keep people safe, keep our university community safe, and then also have some trust that people are going to behave appropriately. We have developed some trigger metrics. But what I mean by that is we know what we're going to tolerate and not tolerate in terms of the numbers of cases and the percent positivity and other metrics. And if we start triggering some of these metrics, we will go into a different phase of restrictions, all the way to complete closure of the university if need be, if certain metrics are reached. And so, like I said, we will continue to monitor the situation, and I just trust that our students, faculty, and staff will do everything they can to make sure that we're all each other safe. In terms of books, I'm still reading Leadership in Turbulent Times by Dorothy Kearns Goodwin. I'm only on about page 200, so we're still in the beginning phases. It's a book about four past presidents, both Roosevelts, Teddy and Franklin, as well as Abe Lincoln and Lyndon Johnson. And so far, it's just going into their early political careers, but ultimately, I think it's going to talk about some of the challenges they faced and how they dealt with those challenges, and what made them specially equipped to deal with those challenges. So I'm looking forward to finishing that book. The weather's been gorgeous. I hope that you all are taking advantage of the great weather and taking walks and enjoying the sunshine. As you know, these days don't last long in Michigan. September is rolling around quickly, so enjoy the weather, and I'll see you next week.